The search is on tonight for this man wanted for murder at a homeless shelter. The crime raising serious questions. Good evening, I'm Chris Raggi.
Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Christine Johnson. A resident of an East Harlem homeless facility was fatally stabbed, raising new questions about shelter safety. As CBS 2 political reporter Marcia Kramer demanding answers as the NYPD mounts a manhunt for the suspect.
The Boulevard Homeless Shelter on Lexington Avenue in East Harlem has a walk-through metal detector, and security staff have hand scanners as well. Yet despite Mayor de Blasio's vow to increase shelter safety, this man, Anthony White, was apparently able to sneak a knife into the shelter, a knife he reportedly used to kill his roommate, cutting so deep, police sources say, he was nearly decapitated. I wonder what this says about security in the shelter, that despite a metal detector and wands, that this man was able to get a knife in so sharp that he nearly decapitated a man.
It's deeply disturbing. We will get this perpetrator. You're exactly right. This was a shelter that had metal detectors, that had its own private security, that had all the things that we need to make sure shelters are safe. Something went wrong. We're going to do a full investigation, but we're very committed going forward in that shelter and every other shelter to making sure they have whatever it takes to keep people safe.
But Robert Mascali, a former deputy commissioner in the Department of Homeless Services, says the city has had plenty of warning about shelter conditions.
It's horrible. It really encourages people to stay out of shelter. Providers have been complaining for many years about inadequate staffing and funding for security.
Ironically, in his new budget that begins July 1st, the mayor calls for giving the Boulevard shelter $200,000 for more staff. But there is another question about the shelter. It is in the same building as a store that sells drug paraphernalia, stuff that is easily accessible to the homeless residents. Should a shelter be in the same building as a head shop?
Again, I'm going to be careful because I don't know the circumstances. I want to make sure the shelters are safe for everyone involved.
Well, City Controller Scott Stringer put the city on notice about shelter safety a few weeks ago. He found that during fiscal year 2015, there were 783 attacks on residents and staff, something he says is unacceptable. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Bill Bratton says this is the first murder in a shelter that he can ever recall.
It's a high number.
Christine, yes,
it's a very high number.
Well, that was one of the complaints, that they were all saying that they didn't want to go because they didn't feel safe.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.